Have you ever been so angry your body betrayed you? You had the perfect words. You knew exactly what to say. But instead of speaking, you cried. Your voice cracked, your chin started shaking, and the words just wouldn't come out. And the person across from you, they looked at you like you just lost. They call you dramatic, sensitive. Some people think you're being childish. Others straight up think you're doing it on purpose, like you're manipulating them with tears. You didn't lose. You're not weak, and psychology says the opposite of everything they told you. What's really happening inside you goes deeper than anyone told you. Way deeper. Trust me on this one. Here's the thing, and this is where it starts to make sense. When you get angry, your brain does something most people don't realize. Your amygdala, that's the part of your brain that processes threats, fires up hard, and it triggers your fight or flight system. Heart rate spikes, cortisol floods in, your whole body is gearing up to protect you. But here's the part nobody explains. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for language, for finding the right words, for staying calm and logical, it shares a blood supply with your emotional brain. They're like roommates who can't both use the shower at the same time. When one's going full blast, the other has to wait. So when your emotions spike, your ability to speak, literally, physiologically, gets dialed down. That's why the words won't come out. It's plumbing. The tears? A biochemist named William Frey found, I think it was back in the mid-80s, that emotional tears are chemically different from the ones you get when you chop an onion. Emotional tears actually contain stress hormones, prolactin, ACTH, stuff your body needs to flush out. Think of it like this. You've been running a marathon you didn't sign up for. Your nervous system has been sprinting since that argument started. And the tears? That's your body hitting the emergency brake. That's not a breakdown, that's emotional sweating. Your body cooling an engine that's been running way past capacity. After a good cry, your body releases endorphins and oxytocin, same chemicals that kick in after a hug. So what feels like giving up is actually the opposite, a full system reset. I know that's a lot of science, but stay with me, because this next part changes how you see everything. From an evolutionary standpoint, this actually tracks. Researchers found that crying probably evolved from distress calls, the kind of signal a baby animal makes when it's separated from the group, one of the oldest social signals on Earth, designed to say something like, "I need you, I need to feel safe." What most people don't know is that your tears actually contain a chemical signal that reduces aggression in the person looking at you. It's actually trying to protect you. If you're someone who feels everything more intensely than the people around you, you're just wired to take in more. That's not a flaw, that's resolution. There's some research suggesting this is especially common with angry tears. Women tend to cry more when angry, partly because expressing anger directly wasn't always encouraged. Men learned the opposite. Neither is accurate, both are survival strategies your culture installed in you. But everything I just described, that's the biology, the surface. There's a whole other layer underneath. Most people stop at the biology. They hear stress hormones and nervous system and they think, okay, that explains it. But it doesn't. Not really. Because anger is rarely the actual feeling. Psychologists have a name for this. Leslie Greenberg called it secondary emotion. It basically means that what you think you're feeling isn't the whole story. Anger shows up first because it's loud and fast. It feels powerful. But underneath it, almost always, there's something quieter. Hurt, helplessness, and sometimes, underneath all of it, fear. The Gottman Institute calls it the anger iceberg. What you see on the surface, the frustration, the clenched jaw, the raised voice, that's just the tip. Think about it. Your partner forgets your birthday for the second year in a row. You snap, you raise your voice, you feel angry. But if you sat with it for a second, really sat with it, you'd probably find something else underneath. Hurt, maybe helplessness, maybe even fear that you don't matter enough to be remembered. That's the part your tears already know. Anger is the bodyguard. Sadness or hurt or fear, that's the person it's protecting. Your tears? They're the bodyguard stepping aside for just a moment, letting the real feeling through. So when you cry during an argument, you're not crying because you're angry. You're crying because of what's underneath it. Most people never get that far. But for some of you, what's underneath didn't start today. Maybe you grew up in a home where anger wasn't safe, where raised voices didn't mean a discussion, they meant danger. Where someone told you, maybe more than once, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. In that moment, your nervous system learned something it never forgot. It learned that when someone is angry, the safest thing you can do is cry, because crying made the other person stop, or at least slow down. Tears became your exit strategy, not something you chose, something that chose you. Trauma researcher Pete Walker calls this the fawn response. It's one of 4 survival modes: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawn is the one nobody talks about. It means make the threat stop by making yourself smaller, by agreeing, by crying, by surrendering before the situation gets worse. The neuroscience backs it up. When fighting or running isn't an option, when you're a kid and you literally can't leave, your nervous system defaults to the one thing that might keep you safe: appease, de-escalate, cry. Here's the thing that gets people. Decades later, that program still runs. Every argument with your partner, every confrontation at work, every time someone raises their voice, your body hits the same button it learned at 6 years old. You didn't learn to cry in arguments, you learned to survive them. Nobody tells you this part. Suppressing it doesn't work. There's a study from the 80s, and it sounds almost cruel. The harder you try to push a thought away, the stronger it comes back. Psychologists call it ironic process theory. Your tears work the exact same way. You clench your jaw at work, you swallow it down in front of your boss, you hold it together all day. But the moment you walk through your front door and your partner hasn't done the dishes, boom! Everything you held in comes flooding out. Over dishes. That's the rebound. So here's the real question, and I want you to sit with this one for a second. When the tears come, is it about what they said today, or is it about something that happened a long time ago? Now, whether your tears are about today or about years ago, there's a way to work with them, not against them. Now, I'm not going to give you a list of tricks to stop crying, because honestly, that's not the goal. The goal isn't to silence your tears, the goal is to stop your tears from silencing you. First, when it happens, just let it. Say it to yourself, I'm angry and this is what my body does. Don't fight it. Don't pile shame on top of anger. That's a second arrow you don't need. Next thing, breathe. And yes, I know, just breathe sounds like the most useless advice on earth, but hear me out. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds hold, 8 seconds out. Remember the parasympathetic system we talked about? You're activating it on purpose. You're not fighting your body, you're working with it. If you can, step away. Not to suppress, not to hide, but to give yourself space to feel it without an audience turning your pain into a performance. And the last one, this is the one that matters most, after the tears slow down, ask yourself, what's underneath? Am I hurt? Am I scared? Am I helpless? Because the tears aren't the problem, they're the messenger, and the message is always worth hearing. One more thing. If the person across from you uses your tears against you, if they call you manipulative, if they say stop crying like you're doing it on purpose, if they get angrier when you get vulnerable, then the problem was never your tears, it was never you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't controlling your reaction, it's recognizing that you're not the one who needs to change. So, I want you to know something. This takes time. There will still be arguments where the tears come before you can catch them. That's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Don't add the second arrow of shame to the first arrow of anger. Because your capacity to feel this deeply, to be so invested, so connected that your body literally overflows, that's also the source of your empathy, your creativity, your depth. You're not weak, you're not dramatic, you're not broken. You're someone who feels at a frequency most people can't even reach. Your tears are not your enemy. They're your body's way of saying, this matters, this relationship matters, this truth matters, you matter. So, the next time the tears come, don't silence them. Listen, because they've been trying to tell you something important, and maybe it's time you heard it. If this video made you feel seen, hit subscribe. This channel is about understanding your patterns, not judging them. And if you want to understand why you feel everything so deeply, click the video right here. You'll